I don't have friends. I got family.
Family.
You
can have any brew you want, as long as it's a Corona.
Family.
This just went from Mission Impossible to Mission and freaking Sanity.
The movies.
It's a fast Friday.
Whoa. It is a fast Friday.
Whoa. I mean, I would say that was too fast for a Friday.
Oh, and too furious.
Oh, I'm not that angry. I'm Andrew Jones.
I'm Johnny Ellis.
We're family.
We are family.
There's one thing we can say about each other is now we are family. And by that we mean that we're married, right?
Yes.
Yay! We've got our rights on marriage after 6 years of podcasting.
6 years? Jesus.
Yeah, this summer. Which we're coming up to.
7 years too long, am I right? I love you, Billy.
Thank you. That hurt. That was brutal.
Sorry. Well, talking of brutal, we're going to talk about Too Fast, Too Furious.
The John Singleton movie of the franchise.
Yes, John Singleton. Now, he was someone I meant to look up.
Boys in the Hood.
See, I saw a thing earlier that said
Taylor Lautner's abducted.
He got the job because he praised the first film.
But hey, I saw this film, guys. It was not that bad.
And Universal went, hey, we're doing
Please do our next one.
Do you wanna come back? That's all you need to do, apparently.
Okay, we'll buy you like a lot of cars and some, jet skis and stuff. Oh yeah, definitely then. Okay, that's fine. Not like I had any other plans, so I was going to hang out and make a film about four brothers. Don't know what I was going to call it.
That's the second most known for film.
Too Fast and Furious?
No, Boys in Hood, Four Brothers,
Yay.
Shaft, and Baby Boy.
Wow. Too Fast gets completely shafted.
Apparently so. He's done an episode of Billions. An Empire.
Yeah. Wrote on Snowfall.
Oh, he did don't know. He did the music video for Remember the Time, Michael Jackson. I always liked that music video.
I don't even know that music video.
No, it was I think Eddie Murphy was in it, and it was like an Egyptian kind of themed. Do you remember the time?
Do you remember the time that Eddie Murphy was culturally important before coming to America? That's with a 2, by the way, because it's Too Fast and Furious. We're only speaking in 2s. Yeah, so John Singleton sadly passed away last year.
Oh yeah.
It was like literally just before the pandemic, wasn't it?
Yeah, it makes sense.
I'm assuming you're on his IMDb, so you
can
can go up.
I am indeed.
So,
April 28th, 2019.
Oh, okay. A year before he.
Just a year before. So 51 years old.
Yeah, he was young. He started young.
God. Did he have anything in the works?
He was like I said, Snowfall was his big thing at the moment.
Snowfall, right. Okay.
On FX, which people say is pretty decent.
Created by 40 episodes.
There you go.
Oh, well, that's a shame.
This one written by Michael Brandt and Derek Haas. They also co-wrote the story with Gary Scott Thompson from the first one, who created the characters.
See, now I'm
created the characters. I mean, created the character of Brian O'Connor.
Now I'm going to feel bad about. I'm going to feel bad about shitting over the film now.
You shouldn't. This was not a good film. Too Fast, Too Furious is, and I'll say this now early on, it's not one of the best films in the franchise.
It really isn't. I was mentally preparing myself for Tokyo Drift, but I feel like I'm going to have more fun with that now.
I believe Tokyo Drift might be a little bit shorter by like 5 minutes.
Oh, well, that's
so
good.
There's that.
At least we open with some hydraulics, a Universal sign with hydraulics.
Yeah, we have the Universal logo, and then right at the end of the Universal logo, it goes and starts bouncing around like nobody's business.
Yeah.
And becomes all chrome and weird CG until it becomes the inner working of a rim. That's
Imagine seeing that in the next Fast and Furious film.
Oh my god! If you saw that in 2021, it's like what? Oh, we're still doing this? Oh, okay.
I mean, we've got to talk about the end credits at some point because that's a whole different thing.
It's a second set of
That
CGI,
is
which one of us clearly liked more than the other one, I
that
guess.
is a PlayStation 2 cutscene.
I thought it was a PlayStation 3 cutscene. I thought the graphics on
Okay.
that one were interestingly creative
Right.
and more palatable and more personified.
Okay.
But we open up with Tej.
Yeah, Tej.
We get Tej, and
the old
he's
afro.
ludicrous. We love Tej. What is Tej hair doing in this scene?
It is growing. It's all over the place. It's out there.
He's huge.
Yep.
It's afroed.
Pretty,
He's got a big old comb in
big.
his hair. This is great. This is bold. This is what filmmaking is meant to be. It's a man stepping out with a bullhorn in the middle of a packed out garage preparing for a street race with huge hair.
Yep.
I don't know if you could look back and say Eisenstein was the master of editing, but he didn't create Tej with big hair. Scorsese created a lot of big parts of cinema, but he didn't create big hair Tej.
Big hair Tej.
You say the Marvel films have broken what cinema is meant to be and explored what narrative storytelling is over the course of many movies, but when we'll get to this in the whole franchise, Tej's hair. Tej's hair. They didn't really able to tell a story as convincing as Tej's hair, and what is grief but Tej's hair?
Wow. Well done, sir. Well done. Wow. Apparently, not Tyrese. We're getting ahead of ourselves there.
Oh, you've got a way to go for Tyrese.
Ludacris is credited
Tej.
as Chris Ludacris Bridges.
As he was for the Academy Award-winning film Crash.
Jesus. Forgot about Crash.
Never forget about Crash.
Yep.
They talk about, gosh, isn't it ridiculous that these people walk across the road when they see us? We're just two black guys. We're not going to offend anyone. And immediately get out their guns and try and harass and rob Sandra Bullock. It's like, look, they are doing that. They are the inverse of what they're doing. Isn't racial profiling funny? Give it an Oscar. What's that, Brokeback Mountain? Can't hear you. Can't hear you. I wish I could stop quitting you because I quit you by not giving you the Oscar.
Do you know what? I've watched Crash because I had to, because it was an Oscar winner. I was like, fine, I should really get around to this just to see what, how this won an Oscar, and I still don't know. But
I liked it in the cinema. I will say I liked it in the cinema.
All right.
I liked it. I went to see opening day, but I had to wait because it was on at like 4:00 and I got there too early, and I asked the box office staff, what's playing right now that's not that bad? And they said, oh, Bad News Bears. So without knowing, I went to see Linklater's Bad News Bears. I'm like, oh, this was good. Fair play, Linklater.
Right.
But yeah. But you haven't seen...
I haven't seen Brokeback Mountain.
I saw that twice in the cinema. That's how much I love that film. That was a good one.
One character that I enjoyed seeing, and they didn't kill him off in this film, so I'm like, why don't they bring him back?
Tej.
Orange Julius. Played by Maury Nolasco from Prison Break. Yeah. Now, you never watched Prison Break, did you?
I watched the pilot, and it helped me understand a joke in Arrested Development the year, maybe even that same year.
What was the joke in Arrested Development?
Well, in Arrested Development, there is a sequence in which they want to break. There's a rich person party at the same prison where where George Bluth Senior is being held.
Right.
And so they're figuring, right, well, whilst we're spending the night in prison as like a rich person fun thing, we're going to see if we can break him out. And then and Joe reveals that he's quote unquote tattooed, as in draw a marker on the plans of the prison onto his body, but it's upside down because he drew it himself, and it's really badly done. I was like, oh, I get that joke now because that's the Prison Break. It's a good job I watched that episode on Channel 5 and then said, no, that's not for me.
It's a good show. The first season's good.
Well, that first episode wasn't, so...
Yeah, the first and second season are good. The third season, not so much. And the fourth season turns a bit Fast and Furious-y.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
But what about the fifth one?
The fifth one was like the reboot, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember nothing from it. I remember watching it week to week, and there was someone at work
that.
Don't think so.
Good.
But But yeah, I remember watching it week to week, but I don't like the fourth season ended it so perfectly, and they had to sort of reverse engineer.
In the fourth season, is it they buy a prison
Yes.
so they can break it?
Yep. Yep.
It's basically an escape plan.
Is that Escape Plan? They
Well,
buy a
escape
prison
plan
break-
is Stallone, 50 Cent, I think Melissa Leo. And the premise is that Stallone is a securities expert, and you send him into your bank or your prison, and he will find a way to break into it or escape from it. So he can show you
right.
the security flaws. It can change up. Except in this one, in Escape Plan, he's sent to a off-site facility, which is a barge in international waters, which is inescapable. And the thing is that he's been done by his partners.
Oh.
He's been sent there, so he can't escape. The entire point is, right, I've been sent here to escape, but there's literally no way to escape from Vinnie Jones's evil prison guard. And so I'm stuck here with Arnold Schwarzenegger, who tells me, you eat like a vegetarian. And he's the worst person in the world, whilst my partner is taking all the millions from my company and leaving me to die in this hellscape. So I've got to escape by, getting a helicopter over here and watching Arnold Schwarzenegger rip a Gatling gun off of a helicopter and using it against everybody. It is quite crazy and a lot more fun than it should be.
Mm.
And the sequel is atrocious. I haven't said the third one.
But yeah, Amari,
Too Fast, Too Furious.
Yeah, Amari Nolasco. I've just checked, and he's only in this film, and I'm like, why don't they bring him in?
Because he made, I guess to me, no impression.
No.
Which
Okay.
one was he?
He was the bald.
Don't say he's the bald guy. This is not a franchise where you can definitively say he's the bald guy. Look at Tish's hair.
Touche.
There are two types of people. There are people with hair and people without hair.
He's the bald Puerto
Wow, what?
Rican.
Puerto Rican.
And he plays Sucre in Prison Break. Who I don't know if you. Yeah, Fernando Sucre.
I literally would not know a single
I was
actor.
going to say, I don't even know he turns up in the pilot. If it's maybe later.
Which car was he driving?
We should watch Prison Break together.
We shouldn't. Which car was he driving?
I don't know which. I think possibly the orange one.
Did he have a cap on? Did he have that weird hat on?
Don't think so.
Woolen knitted hat over his head.
Was
he one of the 4 drivers in the opening race?
I believe so, yeah.
And he wasn't Devon Aoki or Michael Ealy?
No.
Or Paul Walker. He's the other guy who had a hat on.
Okay, then he had a hat on.
Okay, right. Okay, he made no impression.
Okay.
Because he wasn't, he wasn't the lady. He wasn't, oh, that's Michael Ealy in the young role, I guess. And he wasn't, hey, that's the guy from the first film.
Fair enough.
And he wasn't Tej. Because let me tell you, nobody's Tej. Oh, no, that's not true. One person is Tej. His name is Chris Bridges, a.k.a. Ludacris, a.k.a. featuring Ludacris from the song Baby.
Well, let's talk about Brian O'Connor's entrance to the film.
Oh, yeah, this is a Brian O'Connor picture. The connection between
it's not,
Fast and Furious and Too Fast and Furious is that this is a Brian O'Connor story.
He's not Brian O'Connor in this, though, because the first thing someone calls him is Bullet. With 2 T's.
Right, sorry, he's Steve McQueen.
Apparently so. Also, I should note that I got about 33 minutes into this film before I realised, Vin Diesel's not going to turn up at all, is he? And I'd forgotten that there was a Fast and Furious film without Vin Diesel. Like, I know next week's is quite light on Vin Diesel, and has no Brian O'Connor, but I always had it in my head that Vin Diesel is in every film.
Nope.
So yeah.
This is the one where they decided to say, what is the Fast and Furious as a franchise? What can it be? Is it the white guy?
Diesel. Yeah. Yeah.
Is the white guy with very little personality?
Yeah.
Is that what we're going to bolster our thing on? Let's put all our money on this guy who's just, I guess, there.
And it's a shame because, like, everyone, it was so sad when Paul Walker passed, but at the same time, he's not very memorable, is he? Like,
In these first films, he's kind of got nothing to do,
Yeah.
and they
And
anchor him
even
with
in the
way too
later
much.
films, he doesn't have too much to. He's
With the
he's
later
still
films,
not.
he's surrounded by characters, so you
Yeah.
connect with him through other characters. That's the key
Yes.
to connection to ensemble pieces. Is your connection to characters is based on their connection to characters.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
But Tej wants to race for pink slips.
He does.
Well,
Who doesn't?
He loves his money. He likes to organise big events, and they've got a spare driver now. But who's going to drive the car? Ring, ring.
Who's gonna drive the car?
Ring, ring. You up?
What you wearing?
Not much, it seems, because he's got to grab a shirt.
Yeah, he does.
Are you ready to race? I'm always ready to race.
He's always
Here we
ready
go.
to race.
Here we go. It's a 20-minute opening gambit.
I had this on, and my sister was watching a bit of it. Like I tried to get her to watch the first one with me, but she had no interest. And then I was watching this, and 20-minute race sequence, and she's like, I don't know how you can make like 8 films just about racing. I was like, it's more than that. There is more
About
stuff
family.
happening. Yeah, it's about family and it's about heists, mate. More than anything, you just happen to be hanging around in the big 20-minute racing sequence, but it's not this for an hour and a half.
Is it about heists, though?
Yeah, not this one.
No, so it's not all about heists.
But the franchise as a whole, I was saying, like it's more heisty films.
Crimes. It's about crimes.
Yeah,
About breaking the
Heists
law,
are crime.
breaking the law.
and stealing cigars
And
and video players, DVD players,
cigar chompy chompers.
and cigar chompy chompers.
Let's
Shall we
start
talk
again.
about the cars?
Okay, so in this opening sequence,
Yeah.
we have Suki, Devon Aoki. She's driving a pink car, which has a screen on it, which seems to be playing music and also going rah at her, so she can go rah at it.
Right.
That's a thing. Like I said, Michael Ealy, I believe, is driving a red car.
Right.
There is the orange car.
Right. Should I?
Is there is it silver and blue? Is that the car?
Yeah.
Brian?
Yep. Suki's car, the pink car, as you call it.
Yep.
When you say pink, you mean Honda S2000, right? That's.
I believe that was a derivative of the word pink. If you look out in the dictionary, it says
Okay.
pink and Honda S2000.
Yep.
Synonym, if you will.
Good. And the blue and silver is either a 1999 Nissan Skyline GTR R34 or a 2002 Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution 7.
Lancer.
Yep. Hardly knew her.
The Bengal Lancers.
Yeah, I've got a list here of the actual cars.
Oh, you weren't reading this off from your knowledge?
Yeah, I've got a list in my head.
Okay.
I've got a list in my knowledge.
I've got a list. Oh.
But all I know is the names of the cars. Don't ask me anymore.
Okay, what's their horsepower?
Well, one of them's called a Spider.
And that's played by Christopher Moltisanti himself, Michael Imperioli, right?
Well, Tyrese Gibson rides this one.
Nope, we've not got to Tyrese yet. He's not named Tyrese Gibson.
It's just on my.
It's just Tyrese.
It's just on my knowledge.
It's just on your knowledge. No, but would you say they go from 0 to 60 in record time, or like not too long?
It's strangely it takes an hour to get from 0 to 60.
I would say that is not fast, and so it's the inverse of the film's title, and it's a
the
lie.
irony. It's the irony of it all.
I've seen Martin Scorsese's The Irony.
Oh, there's a main article here on my knowledge.
Break.
For Fast and Furious characters, list of Fast and Furious characters.
Okay, right. So list some Fast and Furious characters. I'll tell you if they're in this film or not.
Okay. Oh look, they've got my brain list has got it all plotted out.
Hold on a second. Are some of your things in brain list in black and some of them in blue?
Some of them, but this
Anything in
one's
red?
got like
Your legend.
this one's got
Are you a promising young woman?
this one this one's got green and pink and Orange.
Red and yellow and green and pink.
Pink is for pink is for cameo apparently. So let's see. We've
Word
got
up.
Brian O'Connor.
He's in the
Oh,
film.
hold on. What's the turbocharged prelude for Too Fast, Too Furious? Have you heard about this? This is on my brain list as well.
The turbocharged prelude.
Yeah, short
that's
film
a
directed by Philip G. Atwell.
Philip G. Atwell, of course, he directed a short film in which Ryan Reynolds plays Turbo, the snail.
Right, okay.
It's set in Los Angeles, of course. He's gone through the nitro fueling at this point. He's won the Indy. He has won the Indy 5,000. 500? 500, not 5,000 yet. And he pulls up to Tej's place and says, "Could you deal with me?" And he's like, "No, you're a snail." And he squashes it. And then he gets his bullhorn, and it turns out it's the opening sequence of Too Fast, Too Furious. So what we just discussed, but before that, he steps on Ryan Reynolds' Turbo snail.
Right.
And Paul Giamatti is in the background going, "No, my brother."
I'm going all over the place here.
And Maya Rudolph is next to him going like, "My lover." And I can deal with this. It's a kid's film where I'm going to fuck a snail.
Carry on with your car talk.
Oh, that's it for the opening 20 minutes. Where they're racing around, and then they hit the nos.
Yep, and one of them hits a Pepsi sign.
Which one?
And I want to say the blue one.
Mike Leahy.
And I was wondering, would you call that an advert for Pepsi or an advert for Coke? Because you're crashing into it, so you're destroying the sign.
You're not destroying the sign. You're crashing next to it. The sign doesn't actually collapse. It's prominent in the frame the entire time.
True, but you still crashed into it.
But it's a fast car in an action sequence next to this thing. It's getting prominence. It's is it the Spider Nothing where there's an action sequence in town centre where there's 7-Up signs all over the place? It's not an advert for Sprite. That's just saying, hey, look, 7-Up's being used, and James Bond is seeing 7-Up, so he knows what 7-Up is. Do you know what's 7-Up?
Well, but like the car, the Too Fast, Too Furious car is being stopped by a Pepsi sign.
No, it's not being stopped by a Pepsi sign. It's being stopped by a Pepsi sign.
Would it be stopped by a Coca-Cola sign?
A Coca-Cola sign would stop and take away its right to vote, it seems.
Would a Coca-Cola sign support its right to drive too fast and too furious?
Only in certain areas, and it's Jerry who manders that.
Right. That's all. I had that in my notes. I just wanted to bring up the fact that there's a Pepsi sign, but I feel like it's a subtle advert for Coca-Cola without knowing it. That's my theory, and I'm sticking with it.
Now, how do you feel about the amount of shots of clutch and acceleration pedals and gear shift changes in this?
I like it. It's
cool, isn't it?
Yeah, because it kind of shows the mechanics behind it. You don't tend to see that too much.
And we get these great moments when we're jumping around and we're like going 360 around some of the car bits, or like 180.
Yeah.
So like Brian O'Connor's looking to the side, and then the camera spins around to the front of the car with him.
Yeah.
And he looks with it, and then we go to the next car and things like that. It's very dynamic.
It shows like, when you see sort of racing stuff in films a lot of the time, it seems like it's like proper easy in it. And
it's just cut usually. It's just like, here's that, and things.
And at least here we see that they are actually using their brain power to get the clutch down, and
they grab the steering wheel at the right time. They're pressing the button at the right time. They're clicking the indicator on to show which way they're turning.
Yeah, I think they should do this more in films. Yes,
and that's what this franchise does become. There's a lot of gear shifts, I believe.
Yeah,
I feel like we've seen that a lot later on. There's quite a lot of language being picked up here.
Let's talk about when the police turn up and that big old EMP gun that they use.
Yeah.
We need that again. We need that back.
That was the first step in the franchise going weird.
Yeah. It's like
they break up the race. There's no one to pick up Vin Diesel this time.
Yeah. I mean, you'd think that by film 7, they would have a machine gun that can shoot out lots of EMP spider things to dig into the car.
But what if instead of a machine gun, it was a Gatling gun from a helicopter like Arnie would use? Only it's the new Arnie using it.
See,
That's
exactly. Now there's an idea. But like, you know,
See, the thing about street fighting is
as far as I'm aware,
wins.
as far as I'm aware, this is the only time I've seen this gun being used in the franchise. Why don't they keep this gun? Why didn't they keep this gun going in the franchise? Because the franchise wouldn't exist. Because if the gun evolved as the franchise evolved, like I said, we'd have a Gatling gun, a machine gun, of these EMP bullets that could just destroy, you know, instantly stop a car.
If they're electric, though.
With the click of a button.
But the point... Look, let's get into F8 right now.
Okay.
So that's the point with Cypher's thing with the smart cars is you know, she dominates and makes a horde of zombie cars, which is why, for the most part, they try and use muscle cars.
Yeah.
Because they can't be controlled. And so that's like their statement here is, hey, these exports ones, these fast, sporty cars, not so good. You want some muscle.
I feel like they could have done an EMP for gas guzzling cars.
Yeah, that's called a bullet. You've just described what a bullet is, which is what you've called.
I'm
Paul
very
Walker.
inventive. Yeah, well, that's what he's called in the film.
It's not called that in the film. He's called it from one scene, I guess.
In the opening scene, that's the first thing he's called. So he's Bullet.
To you.
To me.
To you. But
also,
that's like saying, you know, what Captain Marvel. What's Captain Marvel's name?
Shazam.
What's the Brie Larson character Captain Marvel's name in the film? Captain Marvel.
Carol Danvers.
What? No, because she's introduced as Verse. It's the first thing she's introduced as. So,
I would have said that if I'd watched it recently, but I haven't. So.
Well, there you go. But fuck you, because I've bested you once again. Anyway, Street Race goes. Brian O'Connor wins because he's the best racer of all time, I guess. Although not as good as Dominic Toretto, who invented Race Wars.
Is it just me? Whenever I hear the name Brian O'Connor, I think of South Park. What would Brian O'Connor do? I know it's not that, but it should be.
No, well, it is just. When I think of Brian Dennehy, I think of South Park in that moment when he steps in, goes, "What's going
on?" My next note comes is a bit later. So who
cares about you know? Who cares about you know? What happens in the story?
I care about my notes.
What happens in the story? He's pulled over by the cops.
Yep, indeed he is.
What happened? What happened in Los Angeles?
He let Dom Toretto go, and he's not a cop anymore.
No. He's got, you know, shit that means he's bad guy now. He bad guy.
He bad guy.
He bad guy. So they pulled him over. It's like, well, we could use you, but you're bad. So we can make you good again.
Yep. We can rip up this rap sheet. Isn't that what they call it? Rap sheet.
Yep. Rip up this rap sheet if you want to help us. Because you've just seen Eva Mendes. Oh, he just saw Eva Mendes in the crowd in the car race briefly. And she's like, bye. I guess I'm in this film, kind of, but not really, because they didn't write me a character, so I'm just here, waiting for Ryan Gosling. That's what we still are. So there's a cartel leader.
Yeah.
Barone.
Yeah.
And he leads the cartel.
Yeah.
I guess.
I watched this film about half an hour ago and I've forgotten most of it already.
Oh, it's a lot of Miami Vice. It's Miami Vice, but not like Miami Vice where it's good. It's like Miami Vice where it's not good. So Miami shite. But so there's like, hey, he does drug smuggling and stuff. Can you go undercover and do some driving and transpo for him?
Yep.
And we've got this other guy who is fully fledged and on the up and up as one of our badge guys, I guess cops. He's your partner now. And Brian O'Connor busts his balls.
Yep, he does indeed.
He says, what would be the motor you should use for this thing? And he gets the name off of the cup that he's drinking because it's a pizza place. He's like, you would have been sussed out in a second. You suck. And everyone's like, you suck. And then he goes off and he quits the force and realizes that ACAB.
Yeah, it's a pretty dark film. So then he gets to choose his own partner.
Doesn't get to choose. He has to choose because otherwise he'll be
yeah.
dead.
But he's given permission to choose his own
He's
partner.
given permission to, because otherwise, they don't have no chance either. So he goes to the only guy he's ever had a bromance with.
Oh,
We definitely know.
It's back.
Yep, it's time for Dominic to. What? We're going to Barstow. Who's this? Roman Pierce, the baldest man in town.
Who served jail time for housing stolen cars in a garage, apparently, according to my brain notes here. And he's currently on parole. He's got an ankle bracelet.
He's got a ankle bracelet. He can't be more than 100 yards from his house.
Yep. So his
house is a destruction derby. He's doing destruction derby. Vroom. Yep. Smashing. This is car smashing. And there's a lot of shots behind him, and he's putting his hand over his face as he's trying to see him in shots, so his reveal is epic. Which is, him getting out the car and going crazy after he smashes windscreen. And he wins, I guess, the destruction derby. I like cars getting smashed. It's like ice hockey for cars.
Ice hockey for cars. Yeah. Yeah, I'd go for that.
Anyway, there's a dust up in the parking lot where the two boys have a scrap.
Right. Yep. And then the cop guy just watches.
The cop guy sits down.
Yeah, sits down
on a stool in front of a seemingly unrelated motorhome, whilst they're like, "Hey, you're a cop. You ruined everything." He's like, I like you. You're my friend. Can we hang out? And they just like, yeah. Because I thought you can't be more than 100 yards from your house. I'm not. The reveal is that the only motorhome in this whole place is his motorhome. What a surprise! I mean, this was a twist, which I don't know how they could have made better.
Oh my god!
Also, Tyrese is desperate to be the funny guy in this film, and
it does better in the later films, I believe.
When in the later films, they know that the joke is that Roman isn't good at being the comedy guy.
Yeah.
And the whole point is Tej is the guy who is the one you enjoy as the comedy guy, and Roman's there who's trying to be Tej, but also trying to be Dom, and he's trying to split the difference each time, and he's failing in everything, and that's funny to watch him desperately try and be everyone and fail being anyone. It's a man looking for personality, really.
Yeah.
And that's an interesting character in a franchise. I enjoy Roman as he grows on. Unfortunately, in this one, Roman's struggling.
Yeah.
But he's on board, I guess.
He is on board, yeah.
Where do we go now?
Well, we pick up the cars. They get given two shiny cars.
I've got this listed as a purple convertible and a yellow car.
Yep, that sounds about right. My brain list for the cars has gone. So
Eva Mendes is in the warehouse hangar.
1969 Yanko Camaro SYC and a 1970 Dodge Challenger RT.
Oh, they sound like the muscle cars we'll get to later.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Thank you very much.
I was just scanning my brain list.
Scanning your brain, you're getting to the Fonz.
Well, let's talk about this stare and drive move.
Okay, sure. Let's get to the stare and drive. Yeah, they're testing out the cars, and Tyrese insists on having. Sorry, Roman insists on having the convertible, and the convertible doesn't come with Eva Mendes.
Yes.
So Paul Walker sits in his shitty yellow car with Eva Mendes, and she's like, "Yeah, watch the road, focus up."
Yeah,
and he's like, "Oh, I can." Yeah, and
it's uncomfortable.
I wasn't going to go that way. I was going to say Brian O'Connor is so good that driving in Miami at this point, he can just stare at someone for a while.
Yeah,
and have no problems whatsoever. It's cool.
Yeah, but isn't it a bit uncomfortable to watch, knowing what happened?
No, I separate the art from the artist.
I don't know. That's all I could have in my mind. I was just like, it didn't sit right with me.
Brian O'Connor retires to his family. He's fine.
Yes.
He's safe.
Okay.
Forever.
That's what I prefer. Thank you. And they've got a tracking system, these cars.
They do. They are microchipped.
They are indeed microchipped.
I don't know if you can imagine the technology that would be in place in order to have a car have some sort of computer microchip within it. It's again like the EMP gun, science
Yeah.
fiction.
Let's just praise the tracking system though, because it's not as high tech as you'd expect in film world, because it's just two big boxes like on the screen, and it doesn't seem to be very quickly refreshing. Maybe I'm skipping a bit ahead here, but do you remember when they're looking at the screen, they're like, "Oh, we've got them. We know where they are.
We notice.
We know this." Jesus Christ. And it's like it's two sort of book. It's very sort of low key tech.
Yeah, it's full of mischief.
And but like you'd expect for movie worlds to have sort of, second by second, sort of like 24, when they try
Like
to
rat
on that.
race.
Yeah.
Johnny, are you movie world?
I am movie world. So I was kind of glad to see it was quite realistic, and it's like, all right, here they are. Give us another 10 seconds, and then we'll see where they are now. And they could have turned three corners at that point.
Anyway,
Yeah, sorry.
Brian and most importantly Roman need a place to stay.
Yep.
So where are they going to go?
There's another empty house.
They've got to go to Tej's garage.
Oh yeah. There's
And what's happening in Tej's this time? It's not a street race.
what is happening?
They're out by the water, and there's a jet ski thing going on. There's a jet ski party.
Oh right, yeah.
And he's got his cornrows now.
Yes, yeah. Poor Tej.
That hair
Yeah.
has
It's
changed,
nice,
and it doesn't
but,
come back. And I miss the afro.
I thought it was going to be there throughout.
Yeah, so did I. And then that happened. It's like, I guess it's not, convenient for a lot
That's
of
when
other
I turned
things,
off.
Yeah, it kind of does. But yeah, so where are they going to stay? What kind of place has Tej got where they can hang out and live?
I cannot remember.
Okay, what would you say is the close to a living establishment, which is also a place where you can stay?
Oh, it's a boat. It's a boathouse.
Exactly, and also is Miami based as opposed to specifically a on the road thing. It's a houseboat. We're on a houseboat territory, boys.
Yep.
Yes.
Houseboat or boathouse?
It's a houseboat.
Right. I love how
If it was a boathouse, it'd be mighty, mighty.
I watched this. You watched this longer ago than me. I'm trying to find the right words.
I watched this last night. Well,
You watched it last night?
Afternoon.
All right. I thought you were still looking over your notes from.
I've got my notes, but I
last year.
rewatched it from.
Right. Okay.
I would not go into this. Go.
Yeah.
I watched it last year. Let me try and remember because I would fail.
But I love how even so you watched it last night. I watched it like an hour ago, and you're remembering more than me.
Says more about you than it does about the film.
Yeah, I suppose so.
But hey, we got to go and do an audition.
Yes.
They've got these two cops, these two undercover cops, and by cops I mean Tyrese, who is not a cop, and Paul Walker, who is adamantly not former cop.
Yeah.
But Eva Mendes has thrown in a bunch of actual thugs to make sure that it all looks cool and above board.
Yeah, and it does look cool.
It doesn't look cool because they've got the fonts.
Yeah.
Tony Danza.
Yeah.
They make jokes about those stuff.
Yeah, and they have a little sort of race to pick up a package.
Hey, look, his Ferrari was impounded, so they've got to go, but with something in there, a package. So, whoever gets there first.
Yeah, it's like a GTA mission. Basically.
It is exactly that kind of thing. So it's a big old street race in which one guy
dies.
Gets they go through two giant trucks.
Yes.
And then the giant trucks start getting closer to each other as one guy tries to get between them. Starts bish-boshing between the two of these trucks. Yeah. And then goes into that the Clark Griswold space under one of the trucks.
Yep.
And then the truck rolls over, and there is no way the guy could have got out of that car before those wheels went right through the front. He is wetty.
He is so dead. Like, as soon as you see the post bit, after the truck's gone over, the lorry's gone over.
There is no way.
There's no way anyone's in there still alive.
If they are in there, they are bleeding out hard and everything is broken.
They are just blood.
They are just blood, and
Blood,
I
meat, and
guess
bones.
yeah. There's some fractured bone,
Yeah,
but there's no bone that isn't fractured.
but no, there's no mention of it again.
No,
That happened.
no. It's just a horrible fatality on the highway today.
Yeah,
And that's it.
yeah.
Oh well,
I
Miami.
couldn't believe
Guess
it
we'll
when I
need
saw
to
it.
go yummy. Gonna have a party in the city.
And he's gonna come back for his retribution in the next Fast and Furious film, right?
Justice will be coming for him
Justice
as well.
will be coming for him. Yeah,
For sunglasses, red car, dead guy.
yeah. God.
Anyway, yes, the muscle car guys are fighting off against the fast guys.
Yeah, and the fast guys get the package.
They get there. They get into the impound lot. They smash through the gate, and it's just boats. Where's the cars? Then there's a Ferrari sitting in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And there's basically a golden halo going on, and you just see. So they rush right to it, and then cops start pulling over. Which cops? Oh, the cops we already knew.
Yep.
The cops who instigated the whole thing. Why are they there?
Because they have been tracking them, and they think that they're running away.
Smart move.
Silly cops.
Anyway, they grab the package, they drive back, and hand it over. What is it?
It's a cigar and a chompy chomp.
And a chompy chomp. Cigar chompy chomp.
Cigar chomp.
And so was it impounded?
It wasn't impounded. It was just a
what
test
happened?
all along.
That was his place.
It was his place,
Rogue's
and now
place.
they owe money for the gate.
They owe the money for the gate. Oh well.
Oh, God.
What if they get, was it 100 grand each? 500 grand each? 100 grand
Yeah,
each.
something like that. Yeah. We're back in those days.
And you'll do my work for me. You'll drive my cars for pickups and stuff. It's Miami Vice. Now we're in Miami Vice.
Yeah.
There's undercover and there's which way is up. I never doubted you for a second. I'm a thing for burritos.
Yeah.
By the way, we do see a go fast boat at one point in this film.
All right.
And the cars are going slightly slower than the go fast boat, so it's nice to know that it's not too fast. It's not go fast.
Not too furious either.
It is
just a whole line.
There is a sequence later on which gets quite furious.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to mention.
Okay.
In the jet ski sequence earlier with Tej's garage.
Right.
Do you know what Roman calls the place?
No.
He calls it Oasis.
Oh, God.
Because there's beautiful women.
He's full of jokes, isn't he?
It's like Oasis, but with ho. Do you get it? Isn't he a lovely character?
Oh, so lovely.
Isn't he a lovely character?
Lovely, jubbly character.
Anyway.
What have we got next?
I'm going to skip bits because there's not much going on. We go to a club.
Right. Hold on. Is this before or after? Because I've got my next note is I've got the note about the car being crushed by the lorry.
Yeah.
And my next note is Brian O'Connor switching to reverse and giving Roman the finger. And he's saying he says something about the Brian O'Connor School of Driving. How long do you think that takes to pass?
It's probably that's like a day. It's a day
Probably.
course.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, we should mention that Tyrese does take a gun out and shoot at the cops.
Of course.
Just like
Because
that's
it's
the thing
GTA.
that happens. It's, everyone's packing heat in
Yep.
this film. That's important. So they pull up to Tej's and they're like, "Hey, can you just check out what's going on because of this?" And also, these guys in a car over there have been following us and trading us. So Roman gets out, just goes right over to them and goes, "Ha ha! Hey everybody, do you want to clean your windscreen?" And then he cleans the windscreen a little bit and then sets fire to it because it wasn't clean; it was the gas.
And Brian puts a banana in the tailpipe.
Yeah, and he runs off. I mean, I don't like Beverly Hills Cop. I don't think it works well, but that's at least a film.
This is a struggle, this episode, isn't it?
Look, can we get right to the club now?
Okay, let's get to the
Okay, so they pull up to the club. They're going to meet Verone in a public place.
Yep.
And he invites them back to his VIP area.
Yes.
He says, "Come with me. There's a guy over there." And without realizing who it was, I looked at the this guy who was being chatted up in a bar. His head was back to us. It was just his hair and his
Yep.
roundness. I was like, "That's Mark Boone Junior. That is definitively the back hair of Mark Boone Junior.
We are
I
now
don't need to
watching
see. I
Batman
don't need to
Begins.
hear his voice. I don't need to see his face. I know that's a man who wonders why family doesn't like falafel."
Yeah, no, I'd forgotten about this.
This is
little,
this is the sequence I like.
yeah, this little torture.
I watched this with my parents. My mother doesn't like rats. Was freaking out the entire sequence. This he's a cop. He's a detective, and look, they know the names of his family. They know what to torture him with, but they need a 15-minute opening in surveillance to get through various trafficking shit or whatever. So how do they get it from him?
Bucket. Rat.
They take off his shirt in the club. There's no sex in the champagne room, but let's see Mark Boone Jr.'s stomach, baby.
Yep.
Yep, they put a rat on his stomach. They put a metal bucket over it, and they start blowtorching it and saying, "Look, the rat's going to feel the heat. It's not going to be able to get up. The only way is down. So give us what we want."
Have we seen this before in a film?
I've not seen this before. I like this.
I feel like I've seen this before where it's actually happened. Like gone.
You might have, watched a snuff film. I don't know with you.
Definitely
You go to horror festivals. Maybe they showed it like
That's
rat in a stomach man.
Rat in his stomach man.
I'm not good with titles. I didn't go Too Fast, Too Furious.
Yeah, I feel like. So you've never seen this? It's not a trope.
No.
No, I'm sure I've seen this a couple of times.
It's a trope for the franchise now because we had oil waterboarding.
Right. Yeah. So I wonder what Tokyo Drift's torture scene's going to be. Someone trapped in a car and they throw a lighter on the fuel.
No way. That's never going to happen. No one's going to get blown up by a car. There's no death by car.
No one would survive that anyway.
No one of any import.
Yeah.
Import.
Well.
Yep. So before he gets killed, Mark Boone Jr. succumbs to the idea. He's like, "Yeah, okay, fine, I'll do it." And then they show that he's got scratches all over the place. Oof, terrifying.
It is quite, isn't it?
Yeah, nasty.
Yeah. What's next?
Is he back on the houseboat properly this time? I think it is the houseboat. Isn't it? It's
a couple of guys come to
Even Mendes comes first.
Oh, yeah.
Even Mendes is here to say, like, "Hey, airstrip. That's what's going to happen on airstrip, and they're going to put a bullet in you. Bullet, they're going to put a bullet in you, Bullet."
And then a couple of guys come by, and they're like, "We're going to have a look around your houseboat or boathouse."
And Tyrese is like, "Hey, I burnt your car. Can we still be friends?"
Yeah.
Why can't we be friends?
Eva Mendes makes.
I saw you dancing at the disco. Sorry. That's gracious answer from me this year.
Yeah, so they have that little scene, and then it's
like a real play on him fucking around whilst Eva Mendes is trying to get out of the houseboat quietly from the other side, and then Paul Walker gets out there and they take out guns, and now it's a gun thing, and then it's Tyrese is being held at gunpoint and Paul Walker's holding the other guy at gunpoint, and then Verone's like, "Hey, what the fuck? I guess I'm here now too to say, hey, I thought I'd check in on my hired goons to see how my hired goon bad guys are doing." And it turns out you're all trying to fire guns at each other. Can we be professional for 5 seconds? This is Miami.
Why can't we be professional?
This is the party in the city where the heat is on. And we're all night by the beach until the break of dawn.
Yeah. Well, dawn breaks and it's a new day, and it's time for the big.
Well, no, they've got to change up their cars a little bit first because they know they're going to get killed. So what do they decide?
Oh, they have a race, right? Another race for pink slips.
Oh yeah, there's a second race. We forgot to mention there's a second race. There was a muscle car race. We didn't really mention that because we didn't care.
Yeah.
But
why did we mention anything about this?
There's a fucking tag team muscle car versus sport car race. One has to go round in the other one, and Tyrese fails at the start. He hits the nos, and then Paul Walker gets the edge on the other car and drifts her out, chickens him out on the way back round, and then just wins by a nose hair, and they win the muscle cars off of Fonzie and Tony Dancer.
Yeah.
That's that sequence. But no, they adjust their cars. They add some extra NOS.
Yeah.
And they say, hey, what if instead of propelling us forward, it can propel something sideways?
Oh, well, there's an idea.
They're going to go to Napa Valley and drink some wine. What a great film that would be. Too fast, too sideways.
More interesting. Yeah, well, all right, so now we're
went from Mission Impossible to Mission Drinking Wine.
Now we're on the day of the mission.
Okay.
And they are transporting duffel bags of money with...
How many heads are in those duffel bags? 7? 9?
I can't remember.
8 heads in a duffel bag?
8 heads. Okay. Don't remember.
How many miles from Graceland are they? 3,000?
Oh, right. Okay. Well, they've got company in each of their cars. Enrico and Roberto.
It's really awkward because one of the Tyrese goes, "We've got company," and then Paul Walker turns around and is like, "Yeah, we literally know."
Yeah.
They were right there. They got the seatbelts on.
And so they need to get rid of the company. How would they do that?
Well, they don't need to get rid of the company. They've got police on their arse.
Yep, they do. They do indeed.
They've got a lot of police on their arse.
Oh yeah. So yep, they've got police.
They've got a while before we get to your thing.
Yep. Sorry.
They're being chased by police. They're doing a lot of drifting.
Yep.
But there's no real escape, so they drive up into some sort of building.
Yeah.
Garage.
They're trapped, and that's the end, and the credits roll.
They're trapped like rats in a bucket.
Exactly, and
there's only one way to go.
Yep. Well, the gates open, and what's this? A shit ton of fucking cars.
Oh, is that all the cars?
It's all the cars in the world.
It's the first zombie car horde in this franchise. Finally.
Yes. Yep. Must have been fun to film that part.
I think it'd be scary because, this is real cars, so if they crash, that's people in danger.
And let's talk about the technology, because the guy that's watching this on the screens in police headquarters or wherever it is, the screens are quite high def.
Yeah, it's like they're watching
2003
film scan.
Yeah.
This is it looks normal now.
Yeah.
This is stuff that looks normal now. So that's cool. Yeah. I appreciate that.
It's movie world stuff again. When I was praising them for realistic technology with the tracking systems, they go and ruin it all with high def.
Well, it's a shame that realistic technology can't create Roman Pierce properly.
Yep.
Unfortunately, they wasted a lot of the movie technology on the rendering of Tej's hair at the start of the film. That's kind of where it all went.
That's fair enough.
The rest of the film has really been on the they had to de-res a lot of the material because Tej's hair just took up all the data, all the processing units and RAM in the film. But Tej's hair at the start, man.
Yeah.
It was so big.
Well, now Brian and Roman managed to slip away.
Yes.
Cars. What?
No. They're separating their cars, and we follow their cars.
Sorry. Yeah.
And there's 2 helicopters, and the police helicopters following the customs helicopters because they think they're on it.
Yep.
And so we pull over, and we see the old yellow and the purple. The purple convertible now has got its roof up. It's black cladding roof up because you don't want to get confirmed that it's definitely Tyrese in there, would you? Because that would make things awkward. Who's that in the car? No. Oh, it's not Tyrese and Paul though, is it? I think I called it.
Who is it?
Is that Tej and Suki?
What? So they're in boot. They're in the trunk. The trunk.
Right. No, you have to understand that then we get a shot of 2 other cars. And we go into the car and we see that the money's in the boot.
What?
Because we can't just assume they had a money transfer in that room. We have to actively be shown.
Show don't tell.
Yeah, but also, obvious. Give something the benefit of the doubt in this film. And so it's muscle cars being used, and it's time to kick something out, right?
Yeah. How are they
Roman.
going to do that? They've got a
Becomes
company.
Roman.
They don't like company.
He doesn't like company. He takes the guy's seatbelt off and presses a button, and the guy flies into the swamps of Miami.
Just
And
like
I
James
assume, just like James Bond, and gets eaten by a alligator. I assume.
Just like James Bond.
R.I.P.
D.
There was a time to die, and it was in Miami.
Yeah. So they get to the airstrip.
Whoa!
One
So
of them gets to the airstrip.
Roman's going to the airstrip, but
Yeah.
was that Brian's talking? He's
Brian
like, "I'll
gets-
pull over here." What about the airstrip? Oh, we're not going
There
to
is
the
no
airstrip.
airstrip.
Well, there is an airstrip. He's just not going there.
That airstrip died hundreds of years ago. Ooh.
I'm scared. I'm scared of Ghost Plane.
Ghost planes. Ghost strips.
Oh, I've had a ghost strip before. It's a comic strip where everyone's dead already.
Right.
It's Casper. Is what it is.
So yeah, turns out they were duped, and the old villain, what's his name? Carter
Carter Verone.
Carter Verone, told only one person about the airstrip, and it was a lie. Who did he tell about the airstrip?
Eva Mendes.
What does that
dear.
means he knows now. He knows Eva Mendes is a bad girl, but a good girl because she's a bad girl. That makes sense.
Is she a bad guy?
She's the bad guy. Duh.
Is that literally part of the song?
Yeah.
I hate it.
Have you not heard the song?
No,
I'm
I've not heard the song.
Bad guy.
I've heard. I think we established this a year ago, over a year ago to this date. I've
Yeah,
heard
I
one
thought you
song
would
from
have
that
heard it.
artist.
I thought you would have heard the album by now.
I've heard one song from that artist, and it's the one song that won the Grammy that I know. And I heard it one time, and I believe it was on the episode.
Yep. You're welcome. You'll have to do an
Oh, I've heard
episode
You're
on
Welcome.
the-
I've done karaoke for You're Welcome.
Touche.
I can go on. I can tell you about every phenomenon.
So yeah, turns out Carter's gonna win.
Yes, that he gets onto a boat, and the water is famously a place that cars cannot go, so they're screwed.
Wow.
That's it. Tyrese and Paul Walker have to be like, well, we've lost this. Back to jail, I guess.
Yep. Although here's an idea. Why don't they
No.
drive?
No, because that's taking Mission Impossible into Mission in Freaking Sanity. We can't do that. That's not in this franchise's wheelhouse.
That's what they do.
But
They
there's a
drive right.
problem.
Oh, what's the problem?
There's still the guy.
The guy. Oh
Still
yes.
the bad guy in
Yep.
the car.
Duh.
I hate this.
I gotta listen to that album again. That's what I'm gonna do after this. So how do they get rid of the bad guy?
There's a car fight.
Car fight, obviously.
There's a car fight, and Tyrese gives a bit of a row.
Yep.
And then they look at each other, because Tyrese wasn't there at the reveal.
Yep.
Pulls up a bit later. And they look at each other and go like, oh, how do we do this thing? Now we've killed two men. One to a gator, one to a car crash.
And that other guy who got crushed by the
That
lorry.
wasn't their fault.
I know, but
It's not their fault. It's not their fault.
we should also acknowledge another guy who fucking died.
We should
In a
also
tragic
acknowledge
and
there was a
horrific
third
way.
fatality in the last 24 hours.
Yeah.
And we almost saw another fatality through Mark Boone Junior's stomach. That poor rat was going to die.
God. Can't fucking film this.
Yeah, so Tyree's like, that's it, game over, man, game over. And Paul Walker's like, but gravity. You see the Jigs of Hazard, right? And so they drive the car really fast, they hit the nose, and there's conveniently a ramp at the end of the road so they can jump onto a boat.
How convenient.
How convenient. They jump onto a boat. They jump onto a boat, and they smash
Yep.
on top of the boat, and they land on the boat, and they nearly kill Verone.
Nearly.
And nearly kill. They can't actually kill. No one actually dies in this franchise.
Yep.
Justice
Except that
is
one
coming.
guy.
Justice is coming.
Yep. Okay.
Petition starts now.
But yeah, Brian shoots Verone in the shoulder. So he's not dead.
No. And as he's about to come and shoot
Yep.
them, even Mendes with the shotgun settles that score.
Yep.
He's arrested.
Yep.
And they hand him 3 duffel bags full of money. And then Tyree's like, actually, here's another 3.
Well, he checks that he's been pardoned first.
Yes, of course.
Um,
Got to make sure.
But they've still got some money tucked away in their pockets and in their waistbands.
Hey, he's not going hungry.
Yeah, he's not
got
going
money in his
hungry.
pockets.
Also, let's note that Brian says to Roman, this guy's going to kill you if once he gets the chance, because Roman tells Varone, don't drop the soap.
He does. He
That's
does
a
do a
funny
sexual
thing.
assault joke, but he's sure he's not going to get out. He's not coming out. He's not going to get out. He's not
Well-
going to get out, though, is he? He's not going to get out. He'll
I
never
don't
get
know.
out. He'll never get
Does
out.
he come back? Because I put in my notes they should bring him back.
I don't think anything's going to happen from Too Fast, Too Furious in this franchise because they want to forget this film.
It's a shame.
Because it's easily forgettable.
I know, but I feel like they could bring him back and it could make people go back and watch him. So
Just bring Mark Boone Junior back. Let's have Mark Boone Junior come back. I like Mark Boone Junior.
It seems to be a thing they do.
It does seem to be a thing they kind of do.
In franchises these days, where it makes you go back and watch the lesser films of the franchise. Like with WandaVision, made people go back and watch Age of Ultron.
And that film still is rubbish. So.
Yep, but it still made people go back and watch it again.
Yeah, doesn't make it good.
And I know it doesn't make
it's
it
not
good.
like Fallout made Rogue Nation better, which it does.
Yeah. So yeah, they should bring him back. Also, it turns out he's in a Good Day to Die Hard. I've just looked at his IMDb.
That film is bad. Anyway, it's Cole House we're talking about, right?
Yep. So
anyway, no backyard barbecues in this one.
No backyard barbecues.
No Corona.
No Corona.
There's some beers, but there's no Corona.
No post-credits thing, but an awful credit.
But the end credits gambit, which is a CGI version of the opening street race.
Yep, which
I think looks kind of fun.
Awful.
It's
It
colourful.
looks awful.
It's colourful. The way the titles reflect into the places looks nice. It's got a sense of style. I think it doesn't look dated.
Oh, really?
I think it has a very naughty aesthetic, but it doesn't look dated. It looks of a specific time in an interesting way.
Okay. Well, yeah, I highly
Dated
disagree
is
with
often
that.
something that looks like it's trying to be modern-ish still, but it fails to look like that. Whereas this is of an era.
Yeah,
so when you think of the 70s, or when you think of them trying to do something that's modern, contemporary in the 70s.
It just made me remember how I used to be okay with playing PlayStation 2 games and how far I've come. Like,
have you seen PlayStation 2 graphics? They're much worse than this.
I plugged it back in.
I use PlayStation 2 as a reference. I think this looks like a good PlayStation 3 game, actually.
And you're entitled to that opinion.
I am, and I'm entitled in general.
But
How
that
do
was
you feel? How do you feel about Too Fast, Too Furious then?
that was boring.
It is a boring film. It is a shame, but it is a boring film.
Yeah.
It could be good, but it just goes in the wrong direction. And Brian O'Connor is not the key lead to a film. He's not got enough agency to push himself through. And Roman, unfortunately, isn't got enough of a good back and forth to make things more palatable as the bad guy who's trying to deal with being good.
At the very least, it's got me excited for Tokyo Drift, because I feel like this is probably the worst of the franchise.
I don't know. I think Fast and Furious is pretty tough. So I know Fast and Furious brings everyone back, but it's still.
I'm looking forward to Fast and Furious.
We've got a way to go until Luke Hobbs shows up and makes things better.
Yeah, that's true.
There was a reason they called him franchise Viagra for a while. And it was only because of Fast and Furious, because no one was saying G.I. Joe Retaliation was great.
Yeah. I've never watched the G.I. Joe films.
Well, you are fine living in that world forever. We're not going to be doing that when they end up doing G.I. Joe 3. Oh, well, they've got Snake Eyes. They've got an actual fucking Snake Eyes movie, haven't they?
Yes, they do
Yeah,
indeed.
so we're not going to do G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra Retaliation for Snake Eyes. Jesus, why is that going to be a thing?
Why not?
Anyway, so that's Too Fast, Too Furious.
That's Too Fast and Furious.
In the installment. Next week is... wait, is that Justin Lin?
No.
What do you mean?
Justice?
Justin Lin.
Justin Lin, just in time.
Yeah, it's Justin Lin.
Yeah.
Next week we're starting Justin Lin season.
Yeah.
That's at least a good start, because of course Justin Lin does do 5 and 6 as well as 9. He is the embodiment of what Fast and Furious is.
Yeah.
Eventually.
next week should be fun,
So
hopefully.
next week is the start of something big.
That's not how the High School Musical song goes. You wouldn't know that yet.
No, I don't believe.
Yeah, until next week, I suppose. I don't know how to round this off. I'm done.
We went very slowly through Too Fast, Too Furious, and yet it's still not the entire runtime of the film, because that film has 45 minutes on us. So
Oof.
ridiculous.
Goodness.
But next week, we're going to Tokyo. Join us for Fast Friday. Film Family.